Cosmic Cannibal, resident satirist and astrologer at the Scribe, and this is Cosmic Chronicles, your weekly report of all things astrology, from zodiac signs and planets to transits and horoscopes. And speaking of horoscopes, I've got yours for the week. Gemini season! Woohoo! Toodaloo Taurus, it's been lit, but your days are done. On Thursday, May 20th, the sun is shifting into chatty and charming air sign Gemini, ushering in another zodiac season. This cause for celebration because Gemini season is probably the best zodiac season of them all. Now, I may be a little biased because I am a Gemini, but that doesn't negate the fact that this season rocks. Really, think about it. I mean, the semester's over. Done. Like, you don't have to go to any more classes unless, like, you're in preterm classes or you have summer classes or you have one of those classes that kind of starts in the middle of the preterm and before the classes start. Then you're still in school, so it's kind of like not that great. But anyway, with this new season comes new vibes. Gemini season, which lasts May 20th to June 20th, is a season of curiosity, connection, and communication. At least that's half of what you can expect during Gemini season. The rest of the time, there will be some change, some trickery, some commotion, and maybe a little discord. As exciting as all that sounds, we first need to get some background on the zodiac sign. I mean, you can't understand its season unless you understand Gemini. And what better way to understand Gemini than from the mouth of a Gemini? Gemini is an air sign. In astrology, air is the element of the mind. It is what helps us rationalize, synthesize, research, reason, and express our thoughts. Gemini is also a mutable sign, the only mutable air sign in the zodiac, as a matter of fact, which simply means that Geminis like to move around. They like to adapt and shapeshift. Ruled by Mercury, the planet of thinking, speaking, writing, learning, and communication, Gemini's number one goal in life is to communicate with and learn from other people. Okay, cool. But what does this mean for you during 2021 Gemini season? A lot, actually. Gemini is all about adapting to the mindset of the moment. That means for the next 30 or so days, your opinions, your ideas, your interests, and your attention may shift as easily as your mood. By the way, Gemini is one of the moodiest and ficklest zodiac signs, so watch out. During Taurus season, we're focused on slowing down and relaxing. But when the sun is in Gemini, relaxation is the last thing on our minds. Since Gemini rules the third house of your everyday environment, you can expect more activity with familiar folks in your neck of the woods. That means more lunch dates with your siblings, more barbecues with your cousins, more happy hours with your work buds. Hey, you might even fall for your next door neighbor, unless they're mean and ugly and 40 years your senior. The Gemini sun wants us to connect with and charm people. Wants us to brainstorm with our buddies, dine at trendy hangouts, go outside and breathe in the fresh air because Gemini is an air sign. Hello! And explore local spots around town. That has to do with that third house of everyday environment. All that stuff, like instead of going to faraway places, which you could very well do if you're vaccinated, you're going to be looking around your block during Gemini season, right? You're going to be going, hey, I heard about this restaurant 4 weeks ago, want to go? And then your friend's going to be like, sure, because it's Gemini season. It's all about doing things with other people. Now, granted, we have to make a note of distinction here. Unlike signs, Cancer, Libra, and Pisces, who really, they don't like doing things by themselves. Like, they need, like, another person. Always, if you've ever lived, dated with, or known one of those signs, you know that they can't do anything by themselves. Gemini season is more, the camaraderie of Gemini season is just about exchanging an idea with another person. Really, it's about talking at people. You know, like, hey, want to come with me? Because I want to vent. Like, that's what Gemini season's all about. And mental and social stimulation reign supreme during this time of year. So too does change. Be it your hairstyle, your residence, your job, your aesthetic. Thank you to the Gemini sun, you will be saying out with the old and in with the new. If only for a little while, because like come Cancer season, you'll be crying for comfort and security of the familiar, like a baby crying for a baba. Gemini season sees us expressing our ideas and theories to just about anyone who will listen. Social media platforms, you know, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, even Zoom, are going to be seeing a lot more action during this time of year. And so will your phone. I'm talking texts, I'm talking phone calls, I'm talking FaceTime, or whatever the Samsung equivalent of that is. And however else you spread the word to people. Because this is Gemini in a nutshell. Can we like go for it? We'll go for it. It's you reading something in a book and then going, oh my God, I got to tell someone about that. That's Gemini in a nutshell. That's what you're going to be doing this whole time. Not what's the... Yeah, okay. So these communication networks, you know, your phone, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know if anybody uses Facebook anymore. I feel like it's so done. Those things are going to be buzzing like a beehive in spring, which, it is. So apt metaphor, Camille. Thanks, Cosmic. So, totes. But didn't I say something about trickery? Yes, I did in the beginning, which you could hear if you rewind it. I also said Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the OG trickster planet. It rules, you know, not only does it rule communication, but it rules like transactions, deals, thievery, you know, so I'm in good company being a Gemini ruled by the sign of, or the planet of thieves, right? I feel like Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Anyway, because of this, Gemini gets its inherent versatility, right? Mercury gives it that adaptability. It gives us the ability to shapeshift and just kind of move about. But it's also thanks to the twin glyph. Say what? What is a glyph? The glyph is simply something that it's a symbol representing the signs. Every single sign has one. Aries the ram, Taurus the bull, Gemini the twins. Those are the glyphs. So it's just kind of a fancy way of saying the symbol. The mutable air sign is represented by a set of twins, which means there are at least two sides to every story told by and involving Gemini. And this is especially true during Gemini season. For the next 4 weeks, you may mirror the dual desired Gemini and find that you want and pursue two people, two goals, or two jobs simultaneously. The tricky part is knowing which of the two, or three, or four you actually want more. As you try to figure this out, you may also be flitting from one idea and social circle to the next, involving yourself in only the surface layer of subjects or people, starting projects with no intention of finishing them, but still concocting whimsical fantasies about said projects, ideas, and or social circles, and making plans only to break them the next day. That's Gemini in a nutshell. Naturally, this can cause some trouble in your life if you aren't careful. Say it isn't so, but I just did. Weren't you listening? When the sun is in the Gemini sign, the mutable air sign, we can be as superficial and fickle as we are witty and ingenious. Did I mention Gemini is witty and ingenious? Did I mention that wittiness and ingenuity? No? Well, now I did. Gemini season can also inspire emotional coolness, gossipy conversations, and that aforementioned trickery, especially in our love lives. Charming though the Gemini sun may make you, it may also make you a Lothario, watch out, or a Romeo, or some other love-obsessed dude with a roving eye. Brigham Young, perhaps? Hey, he's a Gemini! While both the sun, Venus, and Mercury are in Gemini, you can expect to fall in love at first sight with every hottie you see. But don't expect to commit to a single one of them. Save that stuff for Cancer season. Gemini is not about loyalty or depth. We want something that's new and in the moment, and that's it. Gemini sees us chasing after just about anything that is fun, exciting, and new, and something that offers us a chance to flex our intellects, charm people with words, chat with friends, and shift our perspectives. On the upside, our thinking is clearer and more creative because Gemini is, I'll say it, Gemini is a pretty imaginative sign. Maybe, arguably, the single most imaginative sign of the 12. I'll go that far. Can I go that far? I went that far. It's done. It is on the record. Gemini is more imaginative. You hear that, Pisces? You don't get that anymore. It's ours. What was I saying? Oh, we can eloquently relay our thoughts and ideas to others in a way that makes them think we're a talking poet. Oh, well, wouldn't we be a talking poet? Maybe you can be like a sign language poet. Maybe. Hey, I'm not going to limit you, all right? There is a downside to Gemini season. Inattentiveness, because we're like so obsessed with doing 10,000 things. Seeking out distractions, ditto. Emotional superficiality. Now, let me pause for a moment and talk about that. Why is it, that Gemini can cause emotional coolness and emotional superficiality? It's because Gemini is an air sign, and like I said, air signs are of the mind. That means any sort of feeling that a Gemini experiences is rationalized. You will seldom, if ever, hear a Gemini say, I feel this. Gemini will say, I think this. So during Gemini season, we are far more likely to rationalize our feelings as opposed to actually feeling them. And maybe we'll talk about them because, it's all about communication and connecting with people, but it's going to be like a surface layer of, how do you feel today? I'm sad, but I don't care. Let's go do something. That's, if you even admit that you're sad, you'd be lucky to do that. Gemini is not going to do that. So wait till, you want that. Wait till Cancer season, okay? You'll be ruining the day that you said, hey, Cosmic, why don't you give us more emotional conversations? And I'll say, because I don't control the cosmos, but here you go, order up. Anyway, so you'll have the inattentiveness, seeking out distractions, emotional superficiality and coolness, and lack of commitment, a busy mind, which could be accompanied by anxiety, because nervous system problems. You think? Gossip and pretty much everything I mentioned in couple of minutes ago. So, rewind that and be like that point where I say, let's see, as you try to figure this out, you might also be, I don't know what minute or second that is. You find that. I'm not your mom. So anyway, key dates for Gemini season. There is so much happening during Gemini season. I would expect no less from Zodiac's most busiest busybody. That's like a contradictive superlative. You are the most busiest busybody. Dang right I am. I'm the best busiest body of them all. Okay? Anyway, there's so much going on during this time of year, like in the coming weeks. I don't even know if I can cover it all. Seriously. It's so much. I'm going to emphasize that. There's a lot. At the onset of Gemini season, May 20th, the Sun squares Jupiter in Pisces. It's really not that big of a deal. Sun square Jupiter is actually an invigorating and uplifting transit, prompting us to reach past our current limits and go after something that seemed impossible during Taurus season. For instance, if you've been dying to try that vegan Tex-Mex restaurant down the street, but have avoided it because it's vegan Tex-Mex, I'm like, ew, that could go wrong in so many ways, then this might be the day to go for it. But if your guts explode afterwards, don't blame me. After that, on May 22nd, Mercury in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. This transit is not as much fun as Sun square Jupiter. Mercury is the planet of communication and mental activity. I would hope by now you know that. Neptune is the planet of dissolution and confusion. Both planets are in the signs of their rulership. Yippee! But when Mercury squares Neptune, mental confusion, misunderstanding, lies, and lots of daydreaming are the results. Basically, it's a foggy brain day full of evasion and misdirection between yourself and whoever you're emailing or texting. It's gonna rock. Well, guess what? You're gonna want to hide under a rock. Starting May 23rd, karmic teacher Saturn turns retrograde in progressive air sign Aquarius. Now, according to Karmic Astrology by Martin Schulman, quote, retrograde Saturn is intently serious about completing whatever he has left undone in the past. End quote. That doesn't sound that bad, does it? Unless, of course, you've been getting away with a lot of bad stuff in the past. Then Saturn retrograde isn't going to be so nice to you. As I said just seconds ago, Saturn is the planet of karma. So what has been going around will come back around like a boomerang or a loop or, like a hula hoop. Let's make it fun. Let's make it like a hula hoop. None of this like, it's gonna suck. Like, Saturn's, like, oh my God, that fits because Saturn's rings. It'll be like a hula hoop. If you could see me right now, you could see me hula hooping. I'm not hula hooping. I'm imagining myself hula hooping. Moving on. As if that isn't bad enough, eclipse season begins May 26 with the Sagittarius lunar eclipse. Since Sagittarius is the fire sign of exaggeration, and lunar eclipses suck because they're like full moons on steroids, you can expect several emotional explosions and dramatic events leading up to, on the day of, and following the 2021 Sagittarius lunar eclipse. Here's a fun little anecdote. Ready? So last year, we had another Sagittarius lunar eclipse, and that took place on my birthday. Whippy! And let me just tell you right now that it was horrible. It was awful. I cried, which I always do on my birthday, because they never live up to my expectations. The power also went out, so I was stuck in my un-air-conditioned house for 3 hours, unable to use any TV, internet, or appliances. And a short story I wrote had to be removed by the publisher from the website because a reader emailed her and complained about said story's ethics. Basically, I spent the lunar eclipse sad, sweltering, and severely alienated. Now, that's just one version, one story, what could happen. So if your birthday is on May 26th, my condolences. If you need a support group, I should start a lunar eclipse support group. Like, how many of you have been through a lunar eclipse? Raise your hand. Great. I would raise both my hands. Moving on. As if that isn't bad enough, the very next day, May 27th, Venus in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces, creating dissatisfaction. What am I talking about? Satisfaction. You're not gonna be satisfied. You're gonna be dissatisfied and deluded and feeling like really down in the dumps about your appearance, your self-worth, and maybe your relationships. According to astrologyking.com, there is a tendency to over-idealize romantic interests at this time, ignoring the obvious faults which are plain for others to see, end quote. That doesn't sound good at all. Like I said, it might be a good idea to just hide under a rock during the last week of May and heading into June because there's another eclipse. You'll really want to take cover after you hear about this next transit. Ready? Mercury Retrograde. I told you about that before, but of course you didn't listen because nobody ever heeds the guidance of the sage. They always just brush it aside. And here I am. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Just so listen and follow my directions. The communication planet, which you've heard enough about already, stations retrograde in 24 degrees Gemini on May 29th. That means communication will suffer for the rest of Gemini season. Yeah, so basically Gemini season has like 4 good days, pretty much. So it's going to be like the 20th, 21st, 22nd. Maybe not the 22nd. And in addition to that, in addition to communication just tanking, our thoughts, our plans, our day-to-day schedules, our cars, our computers, our phones, our internet, pretty much anything that gets you from point A to point B is going to go on the fritz. Maybe not all of it. Maybe none of it. Something. I promise you something will happen. Not that I'm not like putting anything out there. Not feeding into that, but it's happening. Another thing. So like former flames, in other words, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or a current foe will rise from the ashes of your past and try to reconnect. So if I were you, I'd block everyone's number now. Unless you're a Pisces and you find it so much more romantic to pine after people who only want you during Mercury Retrograde. 2021 Mercury Retrograde in Gemini doesn't have to be all that bad, but it probably will be. Love planet Venus enters cardinal water sign Cancer on June 2nd, which is a transit that's only good for water signs, you lucky. I'm joking, but not really. Venus in Cancer worsens our appetite for love while also making us really moody, clannish, cloying, secretive with our affections, all that good stuff. One bonus to the transit, Venus in Cancer harmoniously aspects Jupiter in Pisces. And actually, that's like gonna just exaggerate all those other behaviors I said. So, not good. Never mind. And the 2021 Gemini solar eclipse on June 10th promises to be an endeavor. Retrograde Mercury is closely conjunct the lunation. Whippy, right? Why do I keep saying whippy? It's yippee. Whippy. I'm copyright. Whippy. New word. Mars is also in the anaretic degree, 29 degrees, which is like the worst degree. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's troublesome. I'll just say that. So, if you haven't heard from that ex-flame or foe in the weeks leading up to June 10th, you might become the ex-flame or foe who reaches out, begging so-and-so to come back, or just shooting them a text. I wonder how Jeremy's doing. I'm going to text him. All your friends are going to be like, no, don't. Remember what Cosmic said? No, I don't. Because I didn't listen to it. And now I'm not, because you know how it is, like people just ignore the wisdom of sages. Don't I know it? Oh. The next day, June 11th, Mars enters fire sign Leo. An energetic transit for the air and fire signs, but a somewhat overly passionate and willful transit for earth and water signs. Sorry. And remember how I said something about retrograde Saturn in Aquarius? Well, the planet of karma and limitations squares Uranus in Taurus on June 14th. This transit happened earlier in the year, in February, and it sucked. I won't share an anecdote with you, because I feel like I've done enough of that already. So there you have it, your 2021 Gemini season survival guide and horoscope / oh man, it's almost been 24 minutes of me talking mostly about myself. Wow, I could put a Leo to shame. And I don't know about you, but I'm already exhausted by 2021 Gemini season, and it hasn't even started yet. Well, best of luck navigating the transits, because I know this horoscope isn't gonna help. Thanks for listening anyway.